Are you on next door, Henry?
Oh, I'm not on it, my wife is.
Man, they're vicious.
Next door.
And here's what I have discovered, and I've said this quite a few times on Facebook. The people that are moving in now are really nice people. The ones that originally came, they were a little much. But the ones that are coming in now just change the mojo and everything. They want to be a part of our community, and they like how we do things. And then every once in a while, you'll get another one on there, and it's like, whoa.
Now, you will see the only one on next door is my wife Kathy. Because early on when I was there, 50% are gonna hate you, 50% are gonna like you. As long as you got more than 50% liking you, you'll be all right. But and then during the campaign, they lit that thing up, so.
So, are there any Cocoa Village people here tonight? Are you a very nice person? My question, Henry, is why is everybody freaking out over rebuilding Tokwa? It was a golf clubhouse, right?
Tenacity.
And it's still gonna be a golf clubhouse. You have the yacht club, and there's another little, is Tenacity a golf clubhouse too?
Tenacity's the one that burned down.
I'm
Topa's the one that's not.
But they're both golf clubhouses, right?
Yeah,
The two different
Tokwa
clubs.
and Tenacity.
So they're not supposed to be fancy, right?
Well,
You know what? There's nothing after my name that says POA board member,
Right.
POA committee member.
Are you a golfer though?
No.
Oh, never mind. Never
I've
mind.
been to both of those, they have all the other amenities.
They
If you
have-
wanna dine while you're there, eat, other things go on by the clubhouse.
Tenacity was the closest one to a private clubhouse.
Yeah.
I'm eating at Tokwa and it's good.
Well, I go over there on a Sunday, we used to sit there, you cooking? No. You cooking? No. Okay, get in the car, we'll go to,
Tokwa,
Tenacity.
which one's closer to Lenore City?
What's Tenacity?
Tenacity.
Did they ever figure out what started?
I have 3 boxes of stuff for you.
Great. I'm already out of room at the.
I got the Tenacity, nice,
I appreciate it.
I got them to, they did, they agreed to let that be their home course. The other one over one at, Tahiti, they had a couple already, so this one wasn't as close to the school, but it's still, I
I'll get hit with that in there.
they were very generous with their permits.
Lynn, I'll tell you why I'm not a golfer. Red hedge and sun on a hot summer afternoon do not mix.
You do know that the Scottish invented the game, right?
Oh, yeah. There's a city seat in there.
Oh, no, I should watch. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, I
Thank
feel
you.
like they're gonna.
That's what I answer to most of the time, yeah.
Help them at all.
Okay.
Because there is an opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
I give you two nice shoes too, so I
Thank you.
Okay.
Did I see Tom?
We were trying to get really tough.
All the news that's fit to print.
No agendas?
But I didn't let him go back in, but anyhow, his dad was up in Preston. Here, I turned to him, and I said, John, you said, he didn't talk to me for a few weeks after that, but I think so that if I did that today, I'd be going to get involved, I'm sure.
What you looking for, Rich?
Last week,
Aren't those outlets?
and small,
That's a great
like
idea.
I said, when I was at Green Bay,
Here,
you know, basically, if I had a quarterback and a good running back, and at least one person that could catch the ball, we were gonna play defense, we were gonna hit you, so if I had those three, we could compete most of the time. He's a lefty, and, his sophomore year, he was his first team all-state. He's probably the best overall receivers I've had some he had guys that could catch it and then make something big happen after they could take it and make it yes. He was good after I toughened him up, after he first started. He called time out, he kind of stepped right back. I made him cry sometimes. I pushed his time. He toughened him. I said, I love you, I give him my right arm. But I said, I'm not into baby quarterbacks.
Is she still working?
He's a great girl.
I haven't seen her talk to her since.
6 o'clock.
Several kids left, and they hired the guy they hired to get one.
We'll leave them back here.
That's fine, thank you.
He has practice where he lets them do what they want to do. And they ask me something, you know. He was hard, I couldn't turn it over. I couldn't beat him at Loudon, but I beat him when he was at Red. In the Loudon. I beat him in the church.
Is that your story?
Yeah, it was the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mark County has insurance. Commissioners have access to it, right? You don't have insurance. Six oh two.
But now, an offensive line, of course, he put on some weight. I watched him with play.
Take it, son.
How do you know that?
I sat with Dad and I saw it, Harn shows he came down building. That hit, and then I looked and I saw 65 get it.
Oh, it's not quarter.
It was my hit.
Well, I think it's just
Larry
fire.
Davis was that hit.
But I don't know that for sure.
I
Yeah,
figured
there's no spot.
Or I'd have somebody that.
are we not broadcasting tonight?
I don't know, Mr. Ross, did you turn on the camera? There it is.
34.
The camera's on. It's on.
It's on right up there.
Defense had their hands full.
Thank you.
And of course, we missed a couple plays offensively that would have helped. But I said, playing better with this week. I said, it's just a process. I don't care what level you're at. This
It is 6:03 and I'll call the meeting to order. The opening of the meeting is the pledge of allegiance and invocation. Commissioner Randolph, would you say the invocation, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Coach, would you read?
The pledge? Yes, everybody stand please and face our country's flag. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you so much for giving us this day, giving us these people to be able to meet here. Lord, give us guidance and give us wisdom as we take on this, new endeavor. Lord, be with everybody that is hurt and heal it, or hurt and sick. Lord, put your hand on them. Be with our families. Be with us as we go to and fro. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Next is roll call, please. Secretary. Yes.
Gold Cherokee.
Gold Cherokee.
Since this is her first meeting and she doesn't know who is on the commission, it might be beneficial for us to say who we are, so she
Well,
can get started.
let's do this. Why don't we introduce ourselves, and we'll start with Commissioner Randolph.
I'm Chase Randolph, County Commissioner, First District, Seat 8.
Bill Satterfield, most people call me Coach, from County Commissioner, District 3, from Greenback.
I'm Henry Cullen. I'm the County Commission Chairman representing District 7, Tellico Village.
I'm Pat Hunter, and I reside in Loudon County, but I have a Lenore City address.
Adam Waller, County Commission, 6th District.
And I'm Tammy Bivens, I'm the old one here, I guess, and I serve as the representative for the city of Loudon.
Next will be the reading and approval of the August 9th, 2022 minutes. We will take an opportunity to read the minutes.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
there's only two of us that were here.
I know, we're going to be the only two.
Okay.
I think if it's okay with you, I would like to defer this to next month, with the only correction being the date. It was August the, what was it, August the 9th?
Yeah, I believe so.
And then we'll look at the minutes more carefully next month.
Okay.
If that's okay.
I'm perfectly fine with that, because I don't think that the two of us can actually even pass them, so.
There's too much, and if it's okay, we'll have a motion and a second to defer until next month.
Make a motion to defer.
Second.
There's a motion and second. All voting aye?
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions?
No.
Next on the agenda is the, my comments. And I would like to, first of all, welcome everyone to the Solid Waste Commission meeting. And I would like to thank you for taking time to coming to the meeting. Because, can you hear me? Okay. I would like to thank you for coming, because solid waste really affects everyone. Whether we have garbage service, whether we go to the convenience center, it affects everybody. We create waste, and we should also dispose of it in a reasonably, environmentally friendly manner. The commission is also here to hear your comments and your concerns. That's going to be my focus, is to hear from the public. There's some items in your packet. The packets were actually emailed to all the commissioners this morning. We're hoping later in the agenda to address that, where we will get the packets at least 5 days in advance. So everyone has an opportunity to really look at the information, digest it, and also if they have any follow-up questions, they can do that before the meeting. So that's one request as the chair that I will be making to the Solid Waste Commission. There will be some reports that have been missing from previous packets, and if you need additional information, we'll be glad to explain what those reports are all about. Also, I'm gonna do something, the chair's gonna do something that, to my knowledge, hasn't been done before. And I'm actually going to select committees to work on various aspects of our business. later into the meeting, I will be appointing a committee, a special committee, to look into hiring an attorney. So the committee will be tasked with that. Also, I'm going to look into creating a budget committee, and that'll be comprised of everyone. We need input from everybody when it comes to the budget. And also, I spoke with the county mayor today, and we're going to be more independent about the operation of our solid waste commission. We will be taking on more administrative tasks. We will also continue to use the county as our fiscal agent. So they will provide us with financial, they'll also provide us with some resources. But we will be doing more than we have in the past. He welcomed that, and actually we do too. So the tasks that we'll be doing will be like preparing our agendas, our meeting packets in conjunction with Republic. And one thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to rent a P.O. box, and we're going to have our mail delivered at another location. So that frees the mayor's office for their administrative assistant to do the mayor's work rather than our work. So we're gonna be a little bit more independent. Like I said, the county will continue to be our fiscal agent. And I also requested from the mayor office space. Many, many years ago, Mr. Field will remember this, he actually had office space at the annex. So, you know, he had a little office and files, so we're hoping that we have the same independence. So those are my opening statements. We're here to hear from you. If you have any concerns, complaints, we're here to hear your complaints and respond to them, if not tonight, in a timely fashion. If you will write them down, we will give them to the appropriate person so they can address your concerns. Having said that, we'll open public comment. First is Mr. Field.
Thanks, Madam Chairman. I think you're moving in a very worthwhile direction, and I compliment you on taking some of the actions that you have already to
Thank you.
establish the independence and get a space for solid waste operations. And I think that's good.
I appreciate it.
A couple things, a couple thoughts. First, my name's Steve Field, former board member of solid waste. One of the things that I've been thinking about in terms of solid waste is that when you're in the landfill business, you're making a deal with the devil. And I think with the former operators, we had a devil that we knew. I think with our new operators, we have a devil that we don't know. And I think that as you folks are navigating in the world of solid waste, you just have to figure out how to voice your concerns, get to where you need to go, and hopefully have good legal counsel that'll back you up and put you in a good place. The other thing I wanted to say was that in terms of my tenure on the board, that I considered that I always worked at the pleasure of the mayor and the county commission. And I recognized that the county commission was not happy with a lot of things, and you know, I think it's really important for the solid waste board to have the members that have the support of the county commission, and I fully support that. And to the extent that I realized there was a lot of ruckus over some of the board's decisions, and was wrestling with the decision about should I stay or should I go, the county commission helped with that decision, and I want to thank you for that in terms of not stepping down, but being released, if you would. So thank you for that. A couple of things I might throw at the chair to think about in terms of what's on the near-term horizon. One of the things that this solid waste board needs to have is a 10-year plan. And the state looks at that every year when you do the annual progress report in terms of what's the plan going forward. And I think with, under this revised contract, you have a plan, the operator needs to submit a major permit mod to have enough airspace. And, you know, again, as you're wrestling through all the stuff that you're trying to get up to speed on, be mindful that you have a state requirement to have a 10-year plan in place. The other thing, speaking of the annual progress report, even though it's not gonna be coming up till January, TDEC will offer training, probably starting next month, I'm guessing. So for the chair and whoever else on the solid waste commission is interested in understanding how the software package that the state uses works, I'd encourage you to take the training. And for the chair in particular, I think it's important to, because you're gonna have to get in there and sign the thing anyway. So to the extent that you can go through their training, I think it's worthwhile. They usually have it in Knoxville. I'm not sure, it's like a 2 or 3 hour training. Again, I think your point of legal counsel, I think that's a good strategy. The only thing I would encourage you to do is, to the extent that you can, is find somebody who has expertise in solid waste. Because solid waste is different than most other kinds of law. And you may find yourselves in the need of some real expert legal counsel in that regard. And then to the last point I wanted to bring up is in, Pat, I think you know, I've talked about this some, is the potential for the solid waste board to hire either a part-time admin person or a full-time. I've always advocated for a full-time solid waste director. And I would just encourage the board to think about those positions, part-time admin to support the chair, get the paperwork ready, those kind of things. We had one a long time ago. You know, it's up to you whether you folks whether you want to have one or not. And again, I think in terms of solid waste director, I think the county could use one. I think if you had the right person, it would certainly help out from a recycling perspective in terms of promoting recycling between the different entities. You know, I know that one of the things that is a large budget item for the schools is this trash management. And to the extent that you could come up with a strategy to be able to separate the recyclables and the compostables from the trash, and then negotiate a price reduction with your haulers based on hopefully on them hauling less garbage to the landfill, you might be able to recognize some cost savings in that regard. And the last thing I'd like to do is just offer my services. And I think that for the most part, the best opportunity for me is to stay out of your way. But if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. So,
Thank you.
Wish you all well, and thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, I appreciate your comments, and I'll be calling on you.
Please do. You know where to find me.
I do, and you're a wealth of information and knowledge. Thank you. And I'd like to thank you, Mr. Field, for all of your years of service. You're one of the longest serving officials on the Solid Waste Commission. You were there since 1999, and you have navigated through all sorts of issues and concerns, and I thank you for your service. Next on the agenda is Mr. Brian Byers.
Hello, my name's Brian Byers. I'm a resident of Loudon, and my main concern is the road, the mud. It's still been an ongoing problem. It's been ongoing for quite some time. It's supposed to have been fixed several times at several meetings I've been to. We've given them chance after chance after chance. There's still mud. I've documented pictures and I've sent them over to Pat, and of course Tammy knows. But I've documented those and sent them over to Pat, and Pat, I'd like to thank you for a quick reply back to me, but I'm speaking on mine and my wife's behalf because it's a little ridiculous as far as the mud goes and the condition of them roads. When it rains, it looks like it's all god awful. And another thing too, they're getting out there with that equipment, bobcats and the sweepers, and you know, and I don't know how many times I travel the road many times a day, and I've even seen other people that's come close to getting hit. out there with swinging that thing around, cars going off the edge of, over the lines to get out of the way. I've seen it with my own two eyes, and not only is it a hassle with the mud, but the safety issue of them out there every day on that road is dangerous. I mean, they had signs up a couple years ago, they blew over, I see them back there, they blow over, they ain't there.
Can you explain what distance that you see the mud on the road, please?
Well, it comes out from the landfill entrance, and it goes up, sometimes it goes as far as to the Honda place, and then there's times that it'll shut off near the mushroom plant. There's times that I've seen it all the way up to the Stop and Shop, just drip, 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 mud, mud, mud. And it's big globs of mud, it's not just dust, it's mud. It's mud on the road.
Well, I went over there after, receiving some of your information, and I witnessed that firsthand. I think that we owe the community a response, and we need to identify the problem and work on a solution, a permanent solution, not a temporary solution, but a permanent solution. I'm going to be asking Republic to identify where they think the issue is, where the mud is migrating from, and then we need to find some real solutions. I had a lady contact me. She said that on a dusty day, she would go to the landfill, and after the wheel wash, she would get lots of mud on her tires, and it would track it out. So that tells me that we need to look at where the wheel wash is positioned, and we need to make sure that it's functioning properly, and look at everything to identify the problem. And I agree, it should not be a nuisance. It should not be your problem. It's our problem, and Republic is going to help us address that and take care of that for you. So, this isn't just lip service, we'll do something. And I think Republic agrees that it is a problem and it needs to be addressed.
So that they are not using the wheel wash then?
I don't know. I know that when I went there on Saturday, I went to go look at the mud because we had a rain event, and I found the gate open at 2:20. And I know that when a truck came down from the landfill, I took pictures. It was working that day because it was, clean as a whistle. So, if it works sometimes, we need it to work all the time. I have some pictures here. And it looked like the mud was not migrating that day. So we need to identify the problem and address it. We have our commitment, and I think I can speak for the other solid waste commissioners. This will be a top priority to get this addressed.
Well, the wheel wash machine, I've never seen it in action, but I did have reason to visit the landfill earlier this summer. I believe it's the first time I brought anything into the landfill. And if it's rain, it'd have to be a heck of a tire washer once they get off the top of the hill up there and back down to the washer for it to get all the mud. If there's sand on enough, because there's nothing, where you go dump, there's nothing up there. I mean, you back up to where they're plowing it in and it's mud. So you drive back down the gravel road till you get to the wheel wash and then leave. But, I don't know. Like I said, I can see the mud on those, especially those heavy tires when they first go in there. They're gonna be, maybe they need to stay longer in the wheel spot before they come out.
Well, we're going to ask Republic to look into that and to give us a written report for next month to see where the problem is and some solutions.
Is it okay if we speak now? Is that acceptable, or,
We have one more person to speak, and then if you don't mind, if you could address it, I'd appreciate it.
Sure, no worries at all.
Mr. Anglin. Mr. Anklin did receive his minutes
Do I?
before the meeting. I said, Mr. Anklin did receive his minutes before the meeting.
Which was very beneficial, because I was looking for something in particular. That particular item that I was looking for was the host security fee from last August, when your controller was up here, and I discovered that you were about $9,000 short. And they said that they would get it to us quickly. Now, the proof of that is the county office, finance department shows it on the report for the month of August, that the 17,000 both were there. Now, that brings me to this month's.
Mr. Anklin, can you get closer to the microphone, please?
I will. This particular month, dated September 13th, shows a 47,000 collection between the host and security fee, which is fine. That's very good, because of the 5.5% on the total tipping fees billed versus 3.96, went up about 7,000. And the security fee at 5% also went up about 5,000. But in the bottom of this report, Mr. Hollingshead, you say that the county is going to get 29,000 more a month than you used to. I have a big concern over that, and I'm going to hear why.
Mr. Anklin, please address the chair.
Okay? I did a study between July, June, and May for both the host and security fees, and compared them to the August host and security fees. For that 3 months of June, July, and May, it was a $1,077,000, or an average of 359,000 was the revenue generated at the landfill. In the month of August, it was 453. So that's a differential of about 14,000. Now, if you look at the 453 versus the average 359, the delta for both of those fees is $94,000. Now, 26% of that 94,000 can be attributed to the rate change to both the people that are in the interlocal agreement, us, Loudon, the North City, and the other 74% the volume change. And there was a significant volume change. So when you do some more math on that 94,000, and you back it down to what the split is, 91% for Republic, they get 86,000 of that 94, and we get 8,500. So I don't know how you can possibly get to 29,000 a month, both on the volume and on the tipping fee increase. I'd be glad to spend some time talking to you about it after the meeting if you choose. But it's in line, my numbers are in line what I had forecasted previously. With the increase in tipping fees, with the change in the 3.96 to the 5.5, you're talking about $100,000 a year. That's all you're gonna get. And that 100,000 leaves them with 900,000. So please don't construe that by raising tipping fees, it generates a massive windfall for the Loudon County Solid Waste Committee because of that 91-9 split. The other thing, Chairman, Ms. Arndt, You alluded to, I got this package this morning. Thank you very much for forwarding it to me. It's a huge electronic file. You had to do it in multiple pieces. And if you all recall, well, you probably don't, and only Tammy was here when they did it. Back in March or April, the prior commission voted to restrict any of these pieces of information until the night of the meeting. I would beseech you to reinstate, going back to either the Wednesday or the Thursday before, and I see you have it addressed in new business, preparation and distribution of draft minutes, agenda, and packet. In order for anybody, including yourselves, to have an opportunity to do the general reading of the package and or the investigation of what you find in that package at your leisure, rather than like I did, spending the whole afternoon trying to figure out what the heck happened here. It's not fair to the public, it's not fair to you especially. And I believe that we were having these packages available prior to last March, as early as the Thursday before. So it's an electronic version. I would prefer an electronic because I don't need 50 pages of printing. I can read it on my computer just as easy as I can read it in my hand. So if you would address that under your new business and hopefully change it back to where it was like it is with the county. Final thing I would like to say, hey Steve, you can join me in the audience and we can compare notes and help the commission like you've been doing for many years in the past. Again, thank you. Appreciate you taking the time to listen.
Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak that hadn't signed up? No? Okay, next is Mr. Klassen, if you would address the mud issue, please.
Good evening, and it's a pleasure here, a lot of new faces. I guess let me start by introducing myself. My name is Mike Klassen. I'm General Manager for Republic in the Middle Tennessee Post-Collection Business Unit. So within that, we have 7 divisions kind of spread across the state of Middle and Eastern Tennessee, of which the Loudon County landfill is one of them. So I'm actually live in Nashville, based in Murfreesboro, but I'm out here very frequently. I'll say, no matter what the tone is of the meetings, I want to start off on the right foot and say that we take our responsibility as operating your landfill. We take our responsibility very seriously, and we're here to listen. Your concerns matter to us. We're doing, as I kind of said last meeting, we want to do everything we can to make sure understand your expectations and to make sure they're being met and to work collaboratively with you through that process. So I just want to start by saying that that's always the first foot I want to lead with, and I think that's the best foot for us to be successful together, because at the end of the day, this is a joint enterprise that we're under contract in to do together. And then we'll introduce the team here, if you don't mind, Pat, is that okay?
I would like that because I think that's one thing that I would like to know, or the chair would like to know, is we would like to know who is staffing the landfill, who's the manager, who are the key personnel, and are they full-time or part-time? So if you could introduce everybody, I'd appreciate it.
Sure, so everything at the landfill starts and stops with me. I am, again, of course, a full-time employee. Our team here in the audience, I'll introduce you to. So David Hollingshed, who many of you know, he's our municipal sales manager for our business unit. David is going to be your primary point of contact for day-to-day interactions, things like that. And of course, when things escalate or when we have bigger picture things, I'll of course be brought in. So
what exactly does the municipal sales do in your division?
Right, so as I said, David is responsible for the primary point of contact for day-to-day interaction with you as the commission chair and the commission members. So if there's an issue that comes up, if he needs to communicate something, if there's coordination, all of those different items, that's David's responsibility.
Now, I understand that, but what exactly does he do as municipal sales? Does he interact with other companies, other patrons, other governments? What exactly does he do?
Sure, so, a similar role that he's performing here for this commission, he performs for other communities in our business unit that we have contractual relationships with. Those include other counties, local municipalities, cities, those types of entities. So the exact same role that he has here, he performs for some other entities as well. Also, of course, you know Taylor.
I do.
So Taylor Babich is our, she does, wears so many hats for us actually at Loudon County Landfill. Does a fantastic job for each of them. Primarily, we call her on the maintenance clerk side. So Taylor's role is managing all of the different tracking of all of our heavy equipment, the costs for those types of things, services, fuel, vendors, POs, accounting. She also runs our scales, so she's in a very customer-facing role when we have to transition people out for lunches or when our primary scale attendant is not there locally. In our contract with the commission, it states that we are required to provide an employee to write the minutes for the commission meeting. So Taylor is the lucky one who gets to have that role. And so we appreciate everything she does on that front.
She sounds like a super lady.
She is truly a super lady. Yes, that's a great way to describe her. So also in the audience here, we have Ryan Jamerson, who we've had our primary landfill supervisor, Jeff Hayworth, has run into some health concerns. And so he's gonna take kind of a step back and be able to focus on that. So on like the day-to-day leadership of everything that's happening on that site, the direct boss of Taylor, for example, that's Ryan. So on the operational front, every single day, the ins and outs of what's happening at the landfill facility, that's his responsibility.
Do you have any environmental people on site here at the landfill?
So we don't have any environmental people permanently on site at the facility, but as a business unit, we sort of have an administrative staff that supports our business unit as a whole. That includes finance, that includes payables, all of those things. And in addition to that, we have an environmental compliance and engineering team that consists of 3 individuals for our business unit. One of them is dedicated, he actually sits in Chattanooga, so he's responsible for Bradley County Landfill, which is another very similar relationship to what we have together for the Bradley County Landfill in Cleveland, and he's also responsible for covering up here as well.
Okay.
And a number of other support staff, of course, like just to execute our business.
So how do we look at the problem of the mud and address that?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was up here last month, I looked at everyone in the eye and said, I hear you, kind of explained, not making excuses at all, because at the end of the day, you have expectations and they need to be met. Kind of walked through what specifically happened in that early August timeframe. And just for those of you that weren't here, I'm sure you all have your separate businesses that you're involved with. Supply chain is a problem everywhere, and it's especially a problem when it comes to equipment repair. So it's just taking a long time to get parts, especially on specialized parts like those that work in landfills or those that sweep roads and that type of thing. So we had sort of a sequence of unfortunate events all snowball on us, as it can happen sometimes, where we had both of our dozers go down, our wheel wash pump went out, our street sweeper lost a belt, and all of that kind of happened all at the same time, all in that period of time. At that meeting, at the August meeting, I said, hey, we are bringing in all the resources, which is one of the great things about Republic, where we have the ability to mobilize resources from all over our business unit and company, and we're gonna get this right. I do believe that happened. I think when you came out, Pat, and I don't want to put words in your mouth at all, but when you came out on Saturday and saw the facility right after it in train, I think you felt like there wasn't mud on the road and there wasn't maybe a problem that was obvious at that
That's
time.
true, but it was a very light rain, and I would say that it would be totally different, or could be very different, if it was a heavy rain all night.
Sure.
Like we have from time to time.
So I can outline what we have, yes, for sure.
Do you all have an understanding or agreement at what level of acceptance for mud on the road? And does everyone expect the road to look like newly paved asphalt? Or is there, what are when the truck leaves, what are the expectations exiting the landfill as far as the road? What's it supposed to look like?
Our mentality is, our understanding of the commission's expectations are that it should look like a landfill doesn't exist there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's our understanding of your expectations, and that's our goal. So some of the things that we did in the immediate aftermath of the August meeting to make sure we're going out of our way. So we re-rocked basically the entire section of the road going from the actual exit of the hill to the scales. That was all re-rocked. We improved the entrance and exit of the wheel wash, made sure that pump was properly working, made sure we had a backup on site. We were able to fix the belt that was failing in the street sweeper itself, so that's now functioning as well. And we put the street sweeper, it's out there every hour, on the hour, no matter what. And we've also improved made some improvements to our water truck, which had its spray nozzles were a little bit wonky before, and it's one thing when it's wet, but it's also when it's dry, that dry dust will cake onto tires and still track out onto you see it with that construction site on the other side of the interstate right now. They're tracking mud all over the place out onto the highway. And that's whether it's wet or dry, right? And so the water truck's an important part of that to water the roads in and out. So we took all of those actions immediately following our meeting last month, just like we said we would. We actually feel very good about the results that performed. And if there's thoughts to the contrary, we want to hear them. That's why David is here. So David, if you all are getting any sort of complaint that there's a problem with the road, we want you to reach out immediately, let us know, right? And you shouldn't have to, right? And I don't want that to be a habit, but if they come to you, you have a direct line immediately, and we're gonna take immediate action. We'll go out there, we'll take pictures, we'll validate that it's actually a problem, and we'll take immediate action. So it's not something we take lightly. I tell every new hire that we have that that's the most important job that we have at our facility, because it's an exterior facing role. Taylor's probably heard me say it several times just today. And so that's how we've approached it since the last meeting.
Do you have a person in charge of to see after the road, monitoring the road to see when it needs to be swept, or what? Do you use the water truck to wash the road in? Do you use or just a sweeper?
So the sweeper that we have has water in it, and we will apply that as part of the sweep. Historically, we did go out there and actually wash the road, but there was frustration, I think, with some folks that actually sort of would kick up a little road spray and make people's vehicles more dirty. And so at the request of the commission, we stopped doing that. Our scale house, I'm sure you've been out to the landfill, it sort of sits right there at the entrance with a big old window. Again, that sweeper is running I was up there today all day and timed it myself, so it's running every hour, on the half hour today it was running, but it's on an hourly basis, no matter the conditions of that road. So that's how we handle it. Yep, no problem at all.
During high volume times, do some trucks not go through the wheel wash? Is it mandatory to go through the wheel wash?
It's mandatory, and if it's coming, I personally am in the scale house and see every truck in and out. And if they do come down and it is not washed, I will send them back up there.
Is that just for the large garbage
No.
trucks, or is that for?
Anyone that goes up the hill has to go through the wheel wash.
Okay.
So here's what we did. We actually, and also, I should have started by saying this, we would love to host you all out at the landfill. Like, we would love to bring you out, walk you through what a customer does from start to finish, take you up top, let you see the equipment, let you see how we run our business. So anytime you are interested in coming out, we welcome that. Our entrance road, it looks funny because we've actually built the exit side up probably 2 feet more than the entrance side. So we put that much more gravel, and so you can't cross over the lines. So when a truck is coming out and we have the wheel wash on, we actually have a highway barricade we drag out in front of the exit line, so they cannot go around, they physically have to go through the wheel wash.
Do you have, because I have mentioned, complaints in the past, do you have a sign that clearly shows the customer that's going into the landfill that if they have a complaint, a phone number, a contact information? Because I think it's important that there be a phone number on display. And with regards to the complaints, I think they should be tracked. And I think somewhere in the contract, it says that complaints are supposed to be addressed. So I would request that you keep the complaints, put them on your website, a phone number where they can call or file the complaints, and report the complaints to us on a monthly basis, and the nature of the complaints.
Sure, so what I would say to that is our number is on the front gate of the landfill, so it is up there. We're not getting, so Taylor's in the scale house all day, we're not getting complaints that come directly into the landfill. The complaints that we've been hearing are coming usually through the commission and then back to us that way. So that's the complaints we're getting. People aren't calling the landfill and saying, there's an issue, the road is a mess, what are you guys doing? That is not happening. But our website is up there, our phone number is available on Google places for anybody to find and see. So that's certainly available.
And that phone number, where would it be routed to? Would it be to?
It's routed to probably Taylor, honestly. It's routed to the scale
I use the
house.
phone every day.
Yeah, it's routed direct to our scale house. We just operate like a small business, really. So that's how the complaints are coming in at this point.
Okay, well, we would like feedback on those complaints. We don't want the community to think that we're tone deaf. We want to know what the problem is, we want it identified, and we want to work on it. We want to be proactive. We are partners, and we need to look for solutions that work for the community.
Yeah,
So
fully.
we're in agreement there.
Yeah, that's 100%. I mean, we're in the business of responsibly, efficiently, safely managing the waste that this community generates. So that we're 100% in agreement on that.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
I live in the village, and obviously my phone has been blowing up on calls. What goes to Kingston? They tell me when they call, they end up in Kingston.
So, great question. I thank you for asking that. Republic Services is a giant Fortune 300 company. We have a hauling company in Kingston, so all they do is pick up garbage and take it wherever. Not necessarily just the Loudon County landfill, but some of it goes to Knoxville or other around county, wherever. So I'm guessing that's what they're saying as it goes to Kingston. As far as my responsibility within the organization is above post collection only. So as far as what's happening on the hauling side of the business, none of us here in this room have anything to do with that at all.
And that's 95% of our phone calls is to do with the hauling and the trash service out in Tellico Village.
Maybe you need to change the name of your, maybe you need to change the name of your hauling service because people see Republic and they say, and I do too. I mean, if it's the company, whether it's hauling or landfill, is one company responsible for it. And like I said, it does look bad on the whole company when you got people bringing their trash cans and turning them into the convenience center because they're not going to use them anymore because they can't get the garbage picked up. And I understand the division of labor, but surely Republic understands what a black eye, PR black eye that they're getting over not being able to pick up garbage.
Never lose sight of the fact it's the brand image, it's Republic. We don't care if it's Timbuktu hauling, it's Republic.
Sure, as the public, I'm sure that's certainly true. And look, I get my trash picked up too, and they miss my pickups, who picks up ours, and it's frustrating. There's no question about it, and I'm sure from your standpoint especially, you're getting the brunt of those.
It
complaints.
started
It's
at the
extremely
end of
frustrating.
April,
Yeah,
when April, May, June, July, and August.
Well, the pickup at the schools got so bad, the trash is overflowing into the parking lot and on the school grounds. And all the people know is what? Republic.
Republic.
You know, and so, like I said, we get a lot of complaint, but, you know, if you know anybody that works on the hauling side of it, as far as your company's sake, you might wanna tell them they need to get their act together and get the garbage picked up on time like they're supposed to.
Well, here's the issue.
Yeah.
Where I come from and Richard comes from, we'd have lasted maybe a month, Richard, and we'd have gotten fired. That's how it works. That's Fortune 500 company. He was a plant manager for Ford. I was a regional manager for Ford. You gotta fix the problem. It got to a boiling point in the village. I mean, unbelievable.
That has nothing to do with solid waste commission.
No.
Nothing, not a thing. 10 minutes on nothing but Telco Village garbage. POA that.
I know exactly who has this, the POA. But the point is, I'm the commissioner. These are my friends and neighbors. They call me. There's not much, I can't pick up the garbage in my Miata.
Can we, Madam Chair, can we get to our business?
We'll
We've
get
got a
back
lot
on
of
track
agendas
because,
to do.
I do have a question with regards to the gate being open at 2:20 Saturday afternoon. Why was the gate open?
sure, so, you know, every Saturday following a Monday holiday, the facility stays open for an extended day in order to get all of the trash that's collected from all of the community. So
Well, the Friday's on Saturday on a holiday week.
this was Labor Day that she's referring to, so it was the Saturday following Labor
Who
Day.
brought the garbage? What company was bringing garbage that day?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understand your question.
Which hauler was using the landfill after closing, after 12?
No, the landfill was not closed, so this is all
But your
landfill.
hours are what time?
So this is all landfills, this is like haulers that take the day off, trash is not collected, that waste still has to have a place to go. So instead of consolidating it and mixing up your routes and doing everything else, you just push all of your routes one day. So all customers, municipal, private, all customers whatsoever on the Labor Day when no one collects waste, all the routes are just picked up. I'm sure you see it at your home when you're supposed to get picked up on Tuesday, but you got it picked up on Wednesday.
What I
So-
don't understand, if I can say something, what I don't understand is why the Solid Waste Commission was not notified that it was going to be open after closing hours, because your closing hours are what, on Saturday?
So, I don't wanna, understood, I hear you. We will make sure that in the future, on Saturdays following holidays, that we notify the commission that the facility will be open.
The only
100%.
concern that I have is, first of all, we were not notified, and we should be notified if there are any hours that are being extended past the operating hours. The other thing is that not only do I hear about concerns about the mud, and I'll take those concerns very seriously. To me, it's not cosmetic, it is a serious issue. But I also received some information that it was from the POA. I do not reside in Telco Village. I do not solicit information from Telco Village. But I received information that the POA informed the residents that Republic was going to pick up their garbage on Saturday, which that's fine. But they were informed also that the landfill was going to be open. That is what I don't understand, we should have been told. Now, if you have a problem there, we encourage you to correct it, but on the other hand, if it affects the operating hours, I hope that other companies were extended the same opportunity, So they had an opportunity to pick up their garbage if it was out there. I understand you are the operator, but you also gave yourself privilege that I don't know whether it was extended to others. And that is my disappointment, that we didn't know and we had to find out through someone else.
Sure, I want to be very, very clear. We are not operating this facility for the preferential treatment of our hauling company. That facility, just like it has always been, just like all facilities in the solid waste industry always are, to help out the haulers and to make sure that we can get the community's waste collected and back on schedule on Monday. We stayed open just like has always happened.
And I agree with that. I think that's a good service that you provided to the community and I appreciate it.
And all companies were made aware.
Well, the only thing that I don't appreciate is that the Solid Waste Commission, the owners of the landfill, were not told. So please tell us in the future.
Yes, ma'am, I understand. I hear you loud and clear, and I will absolutely make sure in the future that we do that.
So with regards to Mr. Byers and the mud, if you can report to us what you think the problem is and how we're going to address it, because long-term, it is an issue. I mean, I've been hearing about mud for 8 years, since Mr. Jameson started coming, bless his heart. He told us about it. He worked diligently on the wheel wash. I'm very thankful and grateful for him. But he also, in this contract negotiation, he wanted to make sure that we went the extra mile to ensure that more of the road was going to be covered. And it was important to him, he lives down there, and it's important to the rest of us who don't live down there. So, please take that concern to heart.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What do you say, Coach? What's your thing?
Moving right along.
Moving right along.
Okay. The next item on the agenda, I think we covered, was the unlocked front gate. Number D is the annual engineering report. It is now located in your packet. We were supposed to get it in May. It's there now. It's supposed to be turned into TDEC by the operator by May 1st. Next on the agenda is the approval of the audit contract between Mitchell, Emmerich, Hill, and the Solid Waste Commission for the period of FY 2021-2022. I received communication from former attorney Stevens that this was an urgent matter. This was a third notice. We were put on notice that if they would extend the period until we could get it approved. And we're going to do that. It's in your packet. I would ask for a motion to approve the contract for FY 21-22.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Does that include the 10,100?
No, that is separate. The only thing that I request in this motion, that you authorize me to sign it and forward it to Mr. Hill ASAP.
Make a motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second.
Motion and a second, all voting aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions?
Nope.
Next item on the agenda is approval of the auditor fee of $10,100.
Motion to approve.
It is based on the satisfactory completion and review of the Solid Waste Commission.
Second.
So there's a motion and a second. All voting aye.
Aye.
Any voting not nay or abstentions? The motion carries. Next is the acceptance of resignations. You will find 4 resignations in your packet. That of Mr. Stevens, our attorney. Commissioner Brewster actually resigned last month, but it wasn't approved. And also Terry Small and Art Stewart, the Livermore City.
Motion to
Representative.
accept 4 resignations.
Second.
Motion and second, all voting aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? Motion carries. In new business, we're going to have the monthly operations report with Santa Republic.
Oh, no, him again.
All right. You guys keep calling me up here. I keep coming up.
Welcome back.
You got it. It's my favorite place to be. So you won't only get me today. Taylor's got a little spot, and David as well. She gets to hear from all of us. So the first thing that you have in your packet is the letter dated September 7th, 2022. This is one of the, and as we get to know each other and work through, this is sort of the major item that we as operators need to be focused on, and that is obtaining an expansion for the existing landfill. So expansion is a currently, and hopefully everybody sees this CEC letter with the little table at the bottom is what I'm referring to. And if it would be helpful to have like a work session or something to really go through the ins and outs of what the expansion is, but the long and the short of it is landfills are permitted for a certain amount of airspace with a certain geometry and boundary, and we are coming up against the end of that permitted airspace. So it is time to go through, and when you read the contract that just got signed, that contract anticipated a lot of that we were sort of simultaneously going through this expansion process, so it anticipated that we would have approvals through TDEC and then sequential closure, which then became Republic's responsibility to actually close the landfill in sequence with new cell construction, which had not happened in the past. So at the last board meeting, we were asked to provide a sort of we provided a really engineering-based schedule Gantt chart before that was impossible to look at. So we were asked to provide something that was much more simple. And what this is kind of walking through the various steps of the permit application, where there will be submittals to the commission that require your approval, and what we're kind of looking at as far as window for the commission to review and then provide that approval in order to stick with the necessary permitting timeline. So
I
that's
make a motion, we have a workshop on this to learn more about all this.
perfect.
A second.
Is there a second? There's a motion and a second, all voting aye. I would like to add that I have been on the phone with TDEC, and I have spoken with the permit manager and the Knoxville field office. I informed them that we have a new commission, a new board, a new chair, and we have no attorney. I think I explained that to Mr. Hollingshead. TDEC is very sympathetic, they understand. I have requested that they come to discuss the permit process with us because we're new. And they have agreed. Matter of fact, we're gonna be on the phone with, I'm gonna be on the phone tomorrow with TDEC Nashville. So we need to understand, I understand that we have an obligation to this permit, but on the other hand, we also need to understand what we're doing. And TDEC has been gracious enough to let us to basically respond to our request. And they are aware of the timeline, and they're very sympathetic, so.
Do you think the workshop and TDEC at the same time would be most beneficial?
We're going to try to coordinate it. We have an issue. We have two members that are working, people. They work, they have day jobs,
I
and,
believe we've got more than two.
well, we have three. We have people with day jobs. And is that trying to coordinate something with TDEC, and they're strictly, 8 to 4 normally. It's gonna be a challenge, but we're going to get it done. So, we need to take everyone into account, their backgrounds and also their availability. So we'll work on that, I'll let you know.
Thanks, Pat.
Okay.
So this is a workshop that we can't set a date for at the current time.
No, not until I speak with TDEC and get more information from them. And then what I'll do is I will send out some dates so we can coordinate what works for everybody, so. Okay, next is
Next, you requested a summary of gate rate fees.
There it is.
One thing that someone mentioned, they were actually complaining, when they went to take some tires, that they were charged $50 for, I have to find out how many tires they disposed of. But where does that service charge come in?
I don't know about the tire fees. Taylor, do you know about the tire fees?
$1.25 per tire, it depends on the size of the tire.
So why would that person be charged $50?
Did they have 50
Did they
tires?
have, how
200
many,
tires.
how many
No,
tires?
it was a service charge, not the $1.25. It was on top of the $1.25. That's what I wanna know.
And maybe the,
We need for them to address this.
Yes,
I'm not sure what you're asking, man.
Was there a service charge on top of the $1.25 a tire?
Yes,
I'm asking
that's,
them.
well, that's what I'm trying to find out.
There should not be.
I'll ask her to find her receipt.
Yes.
it's been a
So it's $45 plus $1.25. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
It's period.
I
It's
don't know.
$1.25 a tire, period, according to our,
Yeah, no, there's no tipping.
so I can
fee
bring
on
one
top.
tire down there and I'll give you $1.25.
Right,
Okay.
you got one tire, $1.25,
There is a,
taxes,
there is, there is,
Increases for size of tire.
right.
you've got an earth mover tire.
If I bring my car tires, it's $1.25, I'm done, I'm leaving after I give her $1 a quarter.
Okay.
Right, tractor tires, I think $5.
Yeah.
And then, then you have
Is
semis,
there
I think,
still
are
a, is there
$3.
still an additional fee like for mattresses, if you bring mattresses
Correct,
in?
yes, $20 per mattress,
A mattress is $20?
yes.
We need to talk about
You need to
that.
sleep on that.
Yeah.
So there's, when I requested the fees, I also requested all the fees, such as the cart fee, the mattress fees, all the fees that are assessed. This is good, but I'd also like the others, so everyone knows. The new commissioners will not
I'll have
know.
I'll have the list of all fees at the next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Taylor, rest is yours, and if you need help, yell at me.
Okay, would you like me to review all the numbers as we've done before?
Yes, because we're,
Okay, yeah, so we're gonna start with the July 22 combined ending balance. The ending balance is $4,801,619.06. The Poplar Springs sub-fund balance is $27,757.87, which is a total combined balance of $4,827,419.57. And next we have the landfill tonnage report for September. Our 22.5 day average was 591 tons. Our 30-day average is 443 tons.
Are you all seeing these reports? They're all in the packets.
They're all in order. And then next is the summary of the customer activity report, if you would like to review that.
so there was actually an increase in the tonnage from July to August. The overall.
And
Yes.
on this report, in the right-hand column, it says ticket count. And on the last page, second page, it says 3,757 tickets. Now, on that previous report, of $17 environmental fee. Way multiplies to 37.57, that's $17. Every ticket gets a $17 fee.
No, sir.
Who does?
The gate rates,
Only at the gate rate?
gate rate or non-contractual customers,
Only those two?
yes.
Okay, that clears that up. Where's your report of income? Where's that accumulated income get reported? Does it go to the state? You keep it?
No, that doesn't go to the state.
What's it for?
The fees are part of the operating revenue.
Is it shared with us?
It's part of the 5.5%.
We're certainly happy to talk about that after the fact, I think, unless the board has a question, we'll respond to the board at this point.
That'd be great for,
I agree with that.
thank you very much.
Are we ready to move on to the classification?
We
report?
are.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. First, we had 11,227 tons of MSW. 1,480 tons of special waste. 573 tons of sludge. Total material was 13,293 tons, which was made up of 85% of MSW, 15% special waste, 4% sludge. And then, next is the 2022, MSW and special waste analysis report. We'd like to review that. Keep going. Next is
Please.
this 2022, 2023 tower report. We had 13.66 tons in August, bringing the annual total to 39.7 tons, sorry. That's all for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chairman, I need to leave in 4 minutes, so can we talk about F before I leave?
Okay, the interim legal counsel. I would like to form a committee, a special committee, consisting of you, Mr. Waller, Mr. Cullen, and myself. We will be working with the purchasing director. I spoke with her today, and I also spoke with the mayor. And we're gonna follow the 1957 purchasing law. And we'll be requesting a RFQ, request for qualifications, not proposal where you get actual dollars. You're looking at qualifications. So I'd like to make a motion, ask for a motion in a second.
Clarification on that, are you going to ask for bids in the future, or are you just gonna go on their qualifications and then what they charge?
We can't ask for bids, we have to ask for qualifications, it's a request for qualifications. I think Mr. Field has told us numerous times, it's qualifications that we're looking at. It's actually illegal to get, numbers from lawyers. We're looking at the qualifications and then we negotiate.
Make a motion.
Motion, a second. Ms. Vivens and was it Mr. Randall? All voting aye?
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? Okay, there's item F.
Bye.
Y'all have fun with your procedures.
Adam, have a good evening.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay, we've gone through A and B. Procedures for approving all invoices, statements, and bills. And currently, the two commissioners, or the chair and the vice chair would sign off on the invoices. We're going to do something different with, since I'm chair, we're going to approve them as a body. We don't have a budget. We're gonna be working on a budget, but we will be approving everything. So I would like to go back to the month of July, the beginning of our fiscal year. Those bills have already been paid, but I would like to get a motion and a second to approve the bills so it shows the auditors that not only did this body look at the invoices, but that we also approve them. So if I can have a motion and a second, that'll be July through August. And also, for this month, I think the only thing we will have for this month is our stipends so far. So if I can have a motion.
I'll give you a motion, Pat, make that motion.
Mr. Satterfield, is there a second?
I'll give you a second, but those bills are already been paid.
I know that, but we have to show the auditors that we looked at them and approved them. The finance office thought they were being approved by the entire board, and I assured her that they will be approved from this point forward.
Ms. Hunter, I would like to see which ones weren't, because those bills, as far as I'm aware,
No, they were
all
paid.
did pass by us.
Right,
We all
but
saw those.
Okay.
They were paid, but she wants something recorded in the minutes that the board voted to approve those. And those were not actually approved by the entire board. We simply looked at them and 2 officers signed off.
And
They want us-
who wants this?
It is the finance director
For Loudon County?
for Loudon County. Yes, they are a fiscal agent.
How come this hasn't been wanted in the past 20 years?
Should have been.
It should have been. She thought it was being done.
So from now on, it's gonna go through the whole
Yes, from
commission.
now on, it'll go to the entire commission. I don't know why it wasn't done. I was asked to do it, and I told her that we would be doing it.
I don't see no problem with it. I mean, it seems like just more transparency.
It is, it's more
It's
transparency.
the same we do at a commission meeting when Tracy takes over with budget.
I think there needs to not be I think if we're gonna get July through August, and the 2 of us were the only 2 present during that entire time,
That
we're the
was
only
my
2 that
question.
voted, I think there needs to be, that needs to be worded a little bit different, rather than they approved them and
So it
signed
has
off
to
on
be
them.
approved. I am also requesting a policy where maybe I'm going to be asking for 2 motions. One,
You gotta withdraw
Or-
that.
I'm going to withdraw the motion. I'm gonna ask for 2 motions. One, to approve the procedures of approving all invoices from this point forward.
Do we have that written somewhere? I think this needs to be.
We're going to
written.
write that down as a policy.
Because we can't approve, so we just took over on tonight.
Right.
We can't go back and approve something that was done in July and
I mean,
August.
I'm fine speaking for myself that I saw it and that it came through us, but I don't think that's right for them to take
I
it
don't,
on, they weren't here.
I don't think it's a problem at all. It's already done. You did it. We can't approve something that was back 2 months ago.
From here forward.
From
But
here forward.
as far as that policy goes, I'm all for it, I think that's a great policy, I don't have a problem with it. But we probably need to have that policy and some markup of it in writing so that we can all say, yes, this is what we are approving, or that we have the opportunity to tweak it.
I agree with that.
So could we put that on as, business for, maybe unfinished business for next month, and have actually something created? A little policy that states that, so we can actually approve it? I'm good with that, I have no problem with it at all.
Well, I will ask, and look for a policy that addresses, approving all invoices, most especially since this body does not approve a yearly and annual budget.
I think
So,
it would just be good to have it in writing so that we all know exactly what we're voting on, and it's not something that gets created later by memory or,
I
You know.
I would like to include though, until that gets put in writing, I would like to see anything that we pay out come through us, whether it's, we have the official and the guideline, but
Yeah.
from this point on, I would like to see those invoices and so forth come to the Solid Waste Commission, and then we can get it exactly worded just right on how we want to put it in there.
I mean, to my knowledge, there's nothing that hasn't went by our eyes and in our hands, it just wasn't our policy to
I wouldn't
vote on
argue
it.
that point. The point is, here, from now on, last item should be as we do on the commission. Tracy takes over and takes us through all the budget amendments, all the changes in all the accounts, and we vote on them.
So, or unfinished business for next month, if you'll add that to that, I think that would be something that would definitely be acceptable.
what about, do you want to approve the, expenditures for this month? And the only expenditures would be the stipends of the solid waste commissioners. Do you wanna wait on that too?
I mean, we're all here.
I make a motion that we go ahead and accept that.
Okay, motion and a second.
I'll second.
That's to approve the stipends for August,
September.
Out of curiosity, what are they?
It's gonna be greatly disappointing.
$50 a meeting.
$50 a meeting.
There's no taxes taken out of that. though.
We get the whole, we get the whole
There's a
50.
motion and a second on the floor. All voting aye? Any nays or abstentions?
No.
Okay, item D, which is a procedure for having the draft minutes, agendas, and packets ready in advance of the meeting.
How far in advance?
Well, I would have to ask our partners, Republic. Normally, your letters are dated the first of the month. Your summary customer activity report, how soon could that be prepared?
Could we have a chance to get with my finance manager and circle back? It just takes a period of time to close the books on the month before we can report it out, and it's gotta be accurate when we present it to you,
Well,
so.
One thing I would agree with, I think there needs to be a little more time, for us to get the information. And I don't like the idea of coming in the door and here's the reports that you've got to vote on. I think they should be submitted. I just sent mine in for next, workshop next week.
I already heard it.
Yeah, I got it in, so give everybody a little time, maybe people, that wanna see what's going on.
Just
give
try
some
to,
time.
try to set a minimum, whatever you feel comfortable with, 5 days in advance or something, that would be beneficial.
I don't do it to the commissioners. We send it out by email before the commission meeting. They have the whole packet. They can study it beforehand. We never, well, I won't say never say never. But the last thing I wanna do is drop the packet on their spot before the meeting. Tonight, there was a lot of information there, and I'm one of the few that would study it before I show up. I never go in without knowing.
I resemble that.
Well, you're the school teacher.
I know.
Would it be possible to prepare it the Friday before the Tuesday meeting?
That, or we can move the meeting date to give them more time to get it done.
Well,
Let's try with that, and if it doesn't work for you, we can adjust from there.
we'll try the Friday, before the Monday, and rather than have a motion at this point, let's just try to see if it works,
Sure.
and then we'll readjust it at that point.
Is that before noon or 4 o'clock?
Mr. Franklin, you're out of order. With regards to the meeting, since you brought that up, I have had some inquiries, what's involved in moving the meeting. I know tonight, the planning commission is meeting, and many times there are county commissioners. I know I would want to attend a planning meeting. I think it's a very bad idea to have, 2 public meetings, scheduled for the same time. But what would be involved in changing the meeting, it would require 2 meetings. One, to discuss the possibility of changing it, and then the second one would be a write-up of the actual bylaw and a vote.
Can this be the meeting that we discuss it?
We could discuss it.
It's not on the agenda.
Okay.
Would you like to add it to the agenda?
We can't add it to the agenda. We've already went through the agenda. That would have needed to take place. at
We've
the start.
done that in the past. That has not been a technicality that this commission has adhered to, absolutely.
Pretty sure I was
So we
told no
can
once.
discuss it, and then we would bring it up at another meeting.
I would move it to a Thursday, put it back at the annex.
Third Thursday.
Third Thursday. We'll have to check with Republic because they're coming here. Mr. Hollingshead, do you have to travel long distance also to come?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're having to travel from Nashville?
Not Nashville generally, no, but the same time frame.
Okay. So,
I don't have a problem with it.
please look at your schedule and
That's a
see.
good thing.
I'm, the third Thursday works for us, and it would be a great help in procedurally making sure you get the reports when you want them.
Good deal.
Making it on the second Tuesday, sometimes for me, Taylor, and the financial people, if the first Tuesday is on the first and the meeting's on the seventh, that's not a lot of time for me and the other people involved to get that information together. If we do it on the third Thursday, we can definitely have the information to you prior to the meeting.
Good deal.
Well, good, because I think it would also work for the finance department. They're always pressed to try to get it to us by the second Tuesday.
I complete agreement.
So we're in total agreement that it would give you more time, the finance more time in order to get the records to us, and then we could review them, put them on the website, except for the customer activity report. Put everything out there so everybody can
Good
see
deal.
what's going on.
Third
So-
Thursday.
Madam Chair, check with the county to make sure that room is clear that night. I don't know of anything that happened. Van, stand up and
What
tell me.
night does school board meet?
That's the only
Sunday.
question I had.
We're in agreement.
Okay, I hear you.
The school board meets on the first Thursday and the second Thursday, so the third Thursday would be
fine.
great. The other question I have is, do you wanna stay here or do you wanna move to the annex?
I go to the annex, closer to me. But doesn't make any
Ms.
difference.
Vivens?
I don't care,
She's right next door to me.
I'm right next door,
Yeah, we can go have dinner afterwards.
but probably closed by the time we're done.
Do we need a motion to vote on?
No, we do not. It's simply a discussion, nothing else. I will bring back a bylaw change. I don't think it'll take the New York lawyer to do this, but I will sort of copy what was done last time and I'll bring that back. Item, number E, the Office of Open Records Council. They're having a training seminar, and if you would like to attend, I urge you to attend. It's very informative about public records and open meetings. Having said that, is there any additional comments from any of our commissioners? Ms. Gibbons?
I will have to say that I, as now the longest standing, which you all should be very frightened of, member of this committee, I appreciate you all coming and attending. Mr. Waller as well, I know that he had to leave, he had previous engagement, and this has been put upon you, all of you very suddenly to attend this meeting. I appreciate you all coming. I appreciate your interest and your thoughts that you've put into this. This is what I hoped it would be, that you all would come full-heartedly and invest in this. I've been here for almost 4 years now, and you do get invested and you learn a lot of information. It's a lot, and so I hope that you all are ready to embrace that. I know that you are. So welcome.
Thank you.
And I do like the way the agendas look, Madam Chair. I think you did a fine job with that. It is hard to keep on focus sometimes here. So that is one thing that I do hope to see in the future, is that we can stay on focus and get through these agendas in a rather more efficient time frame than what we have seen in the past.
We'll do a better job on that, I promise.
But I knew that this one would be,
This
is a completely new,
It is.
and, but I really do appreciate you all coming in. I feel like you've come in full-heartedly, and I thoroughly appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Getting the agendas out in a better timely fashion should help the meeting proceed in a timely manner and not drag out.
They will, it still will go off track.
That public comment time.
The public comment time
can be
takes
a
it
little
off
more than
track.
10 minutes.
Before we close, for my friends from Republic here, I want to give you the all-time great notice I got from the village. A great day in Tokwa community. Today at approximately 12 noon, we were alerted to a beautiful groomed black stallion ridden by a gentleman named Paul, running down our street yelling, "The trash truck is coming, the truck man is coming." What a great day. Everyone in our neighborhoods were waving American flags, leaning out the window, yelling, "Hooray, hooray, what a great day." So at least they have a sense of humor.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. Meeting is adjourned.
Okay.
Since you all are on the commission, and since the commission is voting the budget, do you all have to abstain like they did when they were teachers at
Who's
school?
making the
Kelly? Yeah.
I think it was, who made the motion? Who made the motion to adjourn? You made the motion to adjourn in a second.
You made
I second, but it was Henry's too.
Satterfield,
Ever has.
Did she not say that our county commission was gonna be giving you all the budget?
No, they have a budget they're gonna go
we're
around.
going to, we're gonna have a budget committee to work on it.
Where's the money coming from?
Yes, sir.
Did votes- okay, so they go to the county board.
The
Yeah, the only
auditor,
thing the county does is move the money.
the auditor has been requesting every audit that we have a budget.
Okay, so you'll have your own independent business, $100,000 you all from the public.
Right, it's part of the money
may
that's.
have to ask David on this.
Remember that gas line?
Hey, gas and a burger,
We're gonna set up your little iPad here, and you can virtually attend.
Thanks for coming.
All right.
You have a problem, just call me. My vote counts.
Right, but if I bring in 10,
Yes.
One thing, everybody.
You got that young lady. Learn a lot. It's the number one place in life to do
I need your
She went to the red bit of mall and
Dave, I need your signature on our attendance sheet. I need your signature on our attendance sheet.
If you don't mind me having to look at Chase ran off to my class, and that's the pleasure. It is. It's coming. It's all.
And what I was thinking, whenever we have an issue, I would like
I didn't have kids. I gotta say it for them. Just always come up one short.
I'm gonna wanna hear that, because I know you're not here.
I think for this, what I wanted to just make sure is, we got an important job to do. And obviously, you're welcome at the facility at any time it's your facility, but I would ask if you have like specific questions and you want to figure out why stuff's happening. David and I are your principals, so we're just asking
I said, I was also,
David's phone number and mine, call us anytime, as I said. And just ask you to do that. I really appreciate that.
well, we're gonna be talking on next at the next meeting about security.
These are
I have in there when the dates are brought this to your attention, and, yesterday was brought it to your attention.
We've got
Adam's office.
What's your favorite comment on the commission?
Get stuck down in minutia.
Do I
have your card?
Alright, you doing well? Everything Alright, I'm going home.
I told him, Texas Whitfield, I said, he on the picture, y'all up there. Whitfield had something to say.
Yes, sir.
Why do you say
They still run that walking
Why don't you send
What's he
me,
doing now since he's retired?
He's
Well, because you guys are a tough bunch and we gotta have the right people here to handle it.
One guy,
It's a team effort up here.
That's right.
That's right.
oh, come on.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
What do we sign on this,
We're signing our attendance here. Put your job down. Thank you.
We'll see you.
Call
see you
Thank you, sir.
And kiss the cows.
And you know if you got any questions,
I'm gonna go home. That's gonna get information.
For this meeting, so that we make.
Chase, Chase, I have a sheet. I have a card.
Oh, no,
This is card, this is most important person, right?
Just a meeting.
Yes, I show is blue.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, David. Saying that I need business cards.
I was at EMT training until 5:30.
What do you wanna do with the
Anything happens tonight?
Bring up
A
this,
lot
I
of
will,
discussion on Miles.
I will put them in the file.
And then there's
What are all
the
these boxes?
storage buildings
Oh,
over on
God.
72. I left, I said, I don't know what the outcome of it was. Not sure, but it's on Highway 72. It's a whole bunch of people there.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, so one thing you might consider is as you try to wrestle your way through that nature of
A
permit
luxury
application,
RV
is
storage
whether you, the
facility.
board's interested in getting some professional
People
help.
live over there, sure.
Like, sort of Dr. Byers.
Almost at the intersection of Wade Road West and 70, Wade Road Cross, it's an old road. And it's between the two churches.
Great.
Vacant lot right there.
Yeah, we're going to be.
Wade Road's like it is,
We
it's
need
Liberty
to
Road,
explain
never
the process.
access Wade Road to bring in RVs and campers. Tom said, you can't.
So I got through it.
I said, now, if you come off Highway 72, that's a different matter. But people that are close, they don't want to. Unless 72 or Wade Road, they just don't want to.
I'm gonna get Van is young, he can pick up those boxes.
Oh, one of them said,
Right between those two. In fact,
it's the real heavy one, has
one of them
like
sitting
that,
there,
he's
whichever
got
one's
to
sitting there, and Jordan's sitting there.
fodder for the cycle. This stuff you might want to-
Well, I think I'm hoping
Had a
that
workshop
Buddy
about that
is going to
beforehand.
possibly
Their
get
recommendation,
us
ultimately,
a,
will be that I'll be allowed in.
I mean, there's still
one
a,
industrial
there's
size.
still a sign over the little office that we had down there in the annex. They were sharing it with the state, but it's.
I know, but they've taken over the whole thing. And one room is actually where the records
Right,
are
right.
being stored for the,
I think that's about all really happened, but all my old stage people, they all felt compelled to speak, so they
Or
spoke,
who is
they said the same thing over
the assessor, I think.
Right.
So see, you had your own office and then
Hey,
still
Coach.
had you moved out and then you had nothing.
Yeah.
Hey, Van,
Dad,
Hey!
come grab a box and take it out, would you?
Thanks, Pat.
Out at Martell, he was having problems with water running down the hill into his.
Oh, we already had him on Rawhide. See you, Dave.
AP, you can take one too.
Rawhide Trail?
He works at Matlock's, real nice guy.
Okay, I don't know which that, I got a call from a guy.
He said, I live out there at Martell, and said, have the water problems, that it comes down the main drag garbage turn into Martell, and then outside, of course, I said, that was built before they had to have holding ponds. and
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely. Morton Hill right there at the bottom where he says his steel works is, it will flood out.
Well,
Good heavy duty.
the highway department had promised them to come out there and do something on the right of way that would help abate the water.
Yeah.
But since Mr. Simpson's left office at Billy's,
Oh,
crawdad on him. And I don't know if it's true.
You won't have to unlock the door for us. Oh, did we have to turn off the camera, or did you see that?
They do that remotely from LCTV.
Okay. Thank you, I forgot to contact them. Well, we appreciate your hospitality.
Happy to help.
You be sure and tell us if that sludge starts affecting Tennessee National. Because they had a terrible problem in Bradley County, that's why they're bringing it here.
Goodness.
The only thing you need to keep an eye on Tennessee National is the view shed and the height.
Well, it's gonna go up some more. I hope not enough to hurt Tennessee National, because it's a thriving community.
$1.3 billion in future tax cuts.
Well, that's important too, real important.
It's really more important than
It is, but, we forget about that. Thank you.
Well,